guys, welcome to the Steelers Xtreme podcast with your host, Iowa Steeler. Today, obviously, going to talk about the Chiefs Steelers divisional matchup this weekend, Sunday at Arrowhead yesterday evening. Obviously, we won the game. A win's a win. I'll take what we can get. It wasn't pretty. It was like watching, honestly, I would compare it to watching a heavyweight bout between two championship heavyweight boxers. That's what it was. It was a knockdown, drag-out brawl between two teams. It was mostly defensive. I mean, you had some offensive statistics put up. Antonio Brown had over 100 yards. Le'Veon Bell had 170 yards, breaking his previous record from the Dolphins game of 167 for a Steelers running back in a postseason game. You know, there was offense in the game, but we just couldn't get into the end zone. And that was the tale of the tape. We couldn't get into the end zone. We couldn't score points, or we couldn't score anything besides field goals. But you know what? It turned out to be enough, and that's all that matters. We beat the Chiefs. We beat them in Arrowhead. That's never easy to do. If anybody thought that game was going to be anything other than that, you're crazy. You are high. You're crazy. The Chiefs always play tough at Arrowhead. That is one of the toughest places to play. I have been there. It's even at times when the Chiefs are not the best team in the NFL, they still do a very good job. I mean, their fans still show up. They still, they're still loud. That's a loyal fan base. They're not that much different from us as far as their fans go. I thought it was a pretty good game. We won it. It was ugly, but sometimes you got to win those ugly games. The great teams go in there and they win those kinds of games. You see the Patriots winning those kinds of games over and over. As much as I hate to say that because I hate New England, they still win those kinds of games, and that's what makes them so good. Green Bay, last second heroics by Aaron Rodgers. They go in there, they win those kinds of close games, those brawls, those where you're exchanging blows with the other team. They go in there and they win those kinds of games. So all in all, the game itself, we did enough to win. There are some things that, some gripes that I have about that game. Namely, the red zone offense has to get better. You cannot put up field goals against the New England Patriots in Foxborough and expect to win that game. They have Tom Brady. They've still got a good offense. Even without Gronkowski, they can still move the ball. They got Chris Hogan or whatever his name is. They still got Julian Edelman, Martellus Bennett. They got guys they can get the ball to. They got Deion Lewis, who looks like he's healthy now. LeGarrette Blount. We're going to have to be on our A game going into Foxborough. We can't go and do what we did against the Chiefs and expect to eke out a win. There's going to have to be some touchdowns. We need to go into Foxborough. We need to be aggressive, and we need to smack them right in the mouth. That's the only way you beat the New England Patriots. We need to go in there and hit Tom Brady. Houston Texans hit Tom Brady all game long, kept him under a 50% completion percentage, and really the Houston Texans defense gave him every chance to win the game. If it wasn't for Brock Osweiler constantly turning the football over, Houston probably had their chances to, at least keep that game close. But Osweiler kept turning the damn ball over and screwing his defense over. We can't do that. We can't play like the Houston Texans did. We can't expect our defense to do everything. The offense needs to step up. Antonio Brown needs to step up. You can't drop a pass in the end zone. No matter how tough that catch might be, you cannot drop those. Guys like Jesse James are going to continue to have to step up. Maybe we'll have Ladarius Green back. I don't know. I hope so, just because of the extra receiving threat, kind of take some pressure off of our other receivers. Guys are going to have to step up. Kobe Hamilton, Darius Hayward-Bay. You guys, they can't be invisible like they were in the Chiefs game. They were invisible. I don't even remember hearing their names called. I mean, they're going to have to step up and make plays. It cannot just be the Killer Bees. The Killer Bees are great, but they can't do it all by themselves. They have to have some support. There has to be another receiver or a tight end. Somebody has to step up and make plays besides just Ben, Bell, and Brown. And we can't rely on Boswell to kick 6 or 7 field goals to beat the New England Patriots. That's just you're not going to beat that team that way. So that was one of my biggest gripes from the Chiefs game. You can't, we got lucky. I think we got a little bit lucky. We had a lot of trips down to that end zone, and all we came away with was field goals. So there's a little bit of luck there. Not a whole lot, because our defense played lights out. But, we put a lot of that on our defense. We put a lot of pressure on our defense to hold down the fort because the offense wasn't getting in the end zone. You can't do that against the Patriots, plain and simple. The other thing, we need to clean up, the mistakes and stuff, like some of the, penalties, like the pass interferences, stuff like that. They just need to continue to play disciplined football, clean up the penalties. New England's going to capitalize on those kinds of things. We can't do that. We can't be stupid. We can't lose our composure. I thought that was one thing in the Chiefs game that was a real positive. The Chiefs were getting really chippy, and our guys knew better than to give into it. Even the whole Travis Kelce thing where he shoved Ross Cockrell on the ground was just beautiful work by Cockrell, to be honest. He knew that Kelce was frustrated, so he gave him a little bit of a push after a play, and Kelce bought right into it. He hook, line, and sinker. He turns around and then shoves Cockrell on the ground after the whistle. What are you doing, dude? Like, you just got punked. Plain and simple, Kelce. You just got punked by Ross Cockrell. He set you up for that. He knew you were a hothead, and you fell for it because you're so stupid. That was stupid, and it was selfish, and it hurt their team. But, I'll talk about that a little bit more here later. But, all in all, I thought we played a pretty good game, despite, the offense not getting into the end zone. Those are the kinds of games that happen in Arrowhead. Between us and the Chiefs, historically, that's a tough matchup. I think we own the all-time record versus the Chiefs by just a few wins, but, historically, it's a tough game. It's tough for us to go into Arrowhead and win, just like it's tough for them to come into Heinz Field and win. I knew this game wasn't going to be a gimme. I'm a little sad that I didn't get to go to the game because of the terrible weather. It's like, I went outside this morning and my driveway and stuff's like a skating rink. Like, I could put on, ice skates and go out and play some hockey. That's how bad the ice was. That's what I would have been driving home in last night. So I'm glad I didn't end up shelling out the money on a ticket, because I don't know, I might have had to stop and stay overnight or something last night. Trying to drive back in that mess would have been idiocy. I opted to stay home. My wife wanted me to stay home. My mom didn't want me driving down to Kansas City. So it's like, whatever, I'll just stay home, watch the game. We still won, so I'm happy. Just a little sad I wasn't there to see it in person and to, do the "Here we go Steelers" chant as we leave Arrowhead. I always love that. All in all, pretty good game. I thought the Steelers, they went in and, they exchanged blows with the Chiefs, and we came out on top. That's all that matters. Win's a win. First kind of thing I kind of wanted to talk about is after the game, there's a little bit of controversy because Antonio Brown, as usual, I'm not even kidding you, I was on my netbook posting on the forum, and I see my Facebook thing pop up, and it's Antonio Brown is live. And this wasn't even it had to have been like 2 minutes, within 2 minutes of the game being over. He's already live on Facebook, which is, par for the course with Antonio Brown. He does the social media thing. He interacts with his fans. I love that kind of stuff. That's cool that, he has a connection with the fans like that. Problem is, he went a little too far with it, and he had Mike Tomlin's post-game speech on there. And I'll read the excerpt for those of you guys that haven't heard it yet, because I want you to know exactly what was said. So there's context there. But I'll bring that up. It says, here's what Mike Tomlin called the Patriots in video stream by Antonio Brown from CBS Sports. So Antonio Brown was basically streaming on Facebook Live or whatever, and you could hear Mike Tomlin's speech, and this is what was said. Quote, "When you get to this point in the journey, man, not a lot needs to be said. Let's say very little moving forward. Let's start our preparations. We just spotted these assholes a day and a half. They played yesterday. Our game got moved tonight. We're going to touchdown at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, so be it. We'll be ready for their ass, but you ain't got to tell them we're coming. Keep a low profile, and let's get ready to ball like this up again in here in a few days and be right back at it. That's our story. Let's say very little, keep a low profile." So that's basically, an excerpt of Tomlin's speech after the game. Of course, the media's having a freaking heyday with it. I don't see the big deal with it. There's nothing there that Mike Tomlin is saying that I don't expect a football coach to say. Having played football myself, coaches cuss. This is football. This is a grown man's sport. We don't go back there and paint pictures of rainbows and unicorns after the game and hug each other and sing Kumbaya around a campfire. This is football. It's get in there and kick their fucking ass, that kind of thing. Excuse the language for the podcast, but for context, that's what it's like. when you play football. That's how your coaches talk to you. I mean, plain and simple, that's how it is. That's how it was for me. Maybe there's some coaches out there, I'm sure there's coaches out there that don't say a swear word at all, but most coaches are going to cuss at you, and they're going to give it to you straight. So there wasn't anything said by Tomlin in that situation in the locker room in that speech that I took offense to, or, I don't even think New England's going to be that fired up about it, because Belichick's saying the same damn things to them about us. I guarantee it. I guarantee Tom Brady is like, let's go kick the Steelers' asses. It's football. There's nothing there. Of course, the media is going to take that and run with it. Ultimately, though, Antonio Brown, come on, man. Have a little more respect for your coach than to put him out there like that. Like, I didn't think that was cool. Like, I think he should have probably shut his phone off or whatever and just left it alone. Like, Tomlin's speech to his players, that's private. That's their inner sanctum. That's their locker room. You need to respect that. Like, I love that I got to hear something like that, because as a Steelers fan, I love that. I want to know what goes on in the locker room. I want to be the fly on the wall in there. But stupid. Can't do that. It's just another one of those things where somebody's causing kind of a distraction, like Joey Porter. Let's not create distractions, especially now that we're playing in the AFC Championship game. Our goal is to get number 7. That's what their goal should be, period. Focus in on getting Super Bowl number 7. Right now, this week, it needs to be beating the Patriots in Foxborough. That needs to be the immediate focus. And you shouldn't shut off all the outside things and just focus in on that. That's what I think they should be doing. So that's my opinion on that. Like, Antonio Brown, I think you should probably not put Mike Tomlin out there like that. The other big story that came out after the game, of course, if you watched the game at all, Travis Kelce made a complete ass of himself during the game. Just was, jawing with guys and this and that, which is fine. But then it evolved into him, he dropped a pass at one point, and it was a beautiful pass from Alex Smith right over the middle of the field. I think it would have put the Chiefs at the 4 or 5 yard line, right outside our end zone. And he drops this pass. He's visibly frustrated. Ross Cockrell, who a lot of people are ripping for his play in the game, you know what? He drew a penalty off that guy. He was smart enough to draw a penalty off Travis Kelce, because on the next series the Chiefs had offensively, I don't think the ball was thrown to Kelce, but for whatever reason, Cockrell gave him kind of a little extra push in the back, like towards the end of the play. And then the whistle was blown, and Travis Kelce turns around and just shoves Cockrell straight to the ground, like just completely upends him onto the ground. And the officials, of course, threw a flag. He got a personal foul penalty for it. And hilariously, you could see Justin Houston just unloading on Travis Kelce on the sideline. I mean, you could tell him, you could kind of read his lips a little bit. You need to be smart. What are you doing? Like, and that's one captain chewing another captain's ass. Kelce deserved to get his ass chewed in that situation. And you'd think that'd be the end of the ridiculously stupid behavior, but towards the end of the game, just Chiefs could drive the field. They score. Sorry for that. My computer thinks it needs to tell me that I need to have Windows Defender on every 2 seconds. But, the Chiefs went down, they scored a touchdown, and, they needed a 2-point conversion to tie the game at 18-18. So it's 16-18. They need the 2-point conversion. Alex Smith throws a dart, I think to Kelce. I think it was to Kelce in the middle of the end zone. Like, he was just open. I'm yelling at my TV, like, how do you leave a guy that open? It gets called back. There's a flag. It gets called back because Eric Fisher, the left tackle of the Kansas City Chiefs, held James Harrison. And if you watch it, you can watch that play every which way. That was a hold. It was absolutely a hold. And the flag was totally warranted. I've seen flags thrown for far less egregious holds than the one on Harrison. This one was so blatant. Harrison whooped Eric Fisher bad with his patented rip and dip move. He rips the tackle. He gets real low, dips, gets around that corner. We've seen him do it for years. That move's almost impossible to block. Guys hold James Harrison all the time because of it, because he's shorter. He's got balance, phenomenal balance, because he's short. He's got that good, like wheelbase, I guess is how I would put it. Like, he's just got that perfect balance. He can just get around a corner and bend like some guys just can't do. And it's really hard for left tackles to block that. It ended up, he got the flag, And then the Chiefs got penalized for 10 yards. They got drugged back 10 yards, and then on the next play, they didn't get the conversion. So it was a huge call, and I'm sure the officials probably wanted nothing to do with that. I'm sure they don't want to have to throw that flag in that situation and have to affect the game that way. But that's what happens. That's life. That's football. That's what happens when you commit a stupid penalty like that in that situation. And that was absolutely Eric Fisher's fault. He should have blocked Harrison as long as he could and then let go of him. I mean, that's all you can do in that situation. I mean, earlier in the game, you're probably going to grab him and tackle him and take a holding penalty to keep your quarterback alive. But that late in the game, when you need the 2-point conversion, you have to hope that Alex Smith's going to, see Harrison coming or feel the pressure, move over, and still make that throw. And you can't hurt your team with a holding penalty there. And that's what he did. He just flat out tackled. I mean, he hooked James Harrison up around the neck, and then he tackled him to the ground. I mean, that's a textbook hold. Travis Kelce throws an absolute temper tantrum to the media about this after the game. And I'll see if I can actually play the clip for you guys so you can hear it. Here it is. This is Travis Kelce talking to the media in the Chiefs locker room.
This one hurts. You fight all year, you fight all game. For it to end like that, with the ref literally taking it out of our hands, that hurts. So you try and play this game with integrity and, to the end of the whistle. And when refs want to take over the game and make it their own platform, there's nothing you can do about it. That wasn't a hold on my guy Eric Fisher, and sure enough, I hope 7-2 doesn't go the entire offseason thinking it was his fault. That was flat out. And from there, we'll go into the next season and try not to let it get in the refs' hands. But they're the ones controlling the game.
This is the most fair lawsuit ever.
I mean, it sucks. This sucks. There was an unbelievable play called last drives. Alex just drove us down there, fourth down after fourth down, making plays. The momentum's getting on our side, and then just get our jugulars ripped out because the ref felt bad for James Harrison falling on the ground. It's ignorance. The ref number 51 shouldn't even be able to wear a zebra jersey ever again. He shouldn't even be able to work a Foot Locker.
So, as you can see, Travis Kelce was totally classless in that interview. But Travis Kelce, totally classless in that situation. I mean, that was absolutely unnecessary to even make those comments. I mean, especially after you just got your ass chewed by Justin Houston for being stupid during the game and being a hothead. You're going to come out to the media after the game and cry like a little baby about James Harrison, that holding call. Come on, man, grow up. Are you 3 years old? Little kids are watching this, and you're a role model. And they're going to see, well, when I don't get my way, I'll just act like Travis Kelce. I'll just act like a bitch about it. Excuse my language, but, it pisses me off. It's ridiculous. Grow up. Be a role model. Don't continue to hurt your team and discredit. And, I mean, there was no reason to rip that official and call that official out like that. There's times when I think officials deserve to be called out to the media, like when they make an atrocious call, but that was textbook. He's saying because James Harrison fell on the ground. Dude, did you watch the tape? Did you see what happened? Because Eric Fisher tackled James Harrison. Pretty sure it's illegal to do that when you're an offensive lineman. You can't just tackle people. You can't just go and tackle a linebacker. You can't tackle the defensive lineman. It's called holding. And it's a penalty in football. It's a penalty in high school. It's a penalty in college. It's a penalty in the NFL. So quit being a crybaby and get over it. Don't go to the media and embarrass yourself and embarrass your team. I thought that was a good, tough, hard-fought game. But Travis Kelce is taking it and just being a distraction to his team and just being a crybaby and just discrediting his team in that way. So. I thought Travis Kelce, he needs to grow up. He needs to show some class. He got ejected, I think, in a game earlier this season for throwing a towel or something at an official. So he needs to get his temper under wraps. You're a grown-ass man. Grow up. Quit hurting your team that way. Nobody made you drop that pass that you dropped that you should have easily caught. He dropped it on his own. It wasn't like Mitchell or anybody hit him and it forced the ball out. He just dropped this pass on his own that hit him right in the stomach. I mean, it was right in his breadbasket, and he dropped it. That's your own damn fault. And then you let Ross Cockrell punk you by pushing you. He knew exactly how you would react, and you did exactly what he expected. You played right into that. That's your own fault for being a fool. And then to have the audacity after that stupidity to try and call an official out after the game, come on, man. Like, just come on. Anyways, that's the podcast for today. Good win. We need to go into Foxborough. We need to smack the New England Patriots in the mouth. We cannot be stale in the red zone like we were against the Chiefs. End of story. We need to go in there, smack those guys in the mouth, and be aggressive with them. Their foot needs to be on the gas in Foxborough the minute we step on the field. The mentality needs to be they need to hit Brady every chance they get. They need to be in his head, and he cannot be clean all game long. If we let Brady sit back there, we're going to lose the game, period. So, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, please go down below here on YouTube, click like, click subscribe if you're so inclined, or join the forums, SteelersXtreme.com. The link's in the picture up here, video itself. Just www.SteelersXtreme.com. You can hop on the forum, get in on discussions. There's a thread on here for my podcasts. If you have any suggestions or requests, you can get on there and ask me. I'm happy to accommodate those. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. Have a great day.